support of Dr. Faisal Shaheen, we were able to create this course, and you are the first attendee for this. It's going to be 2 days course, and it's going to be the first day lecture. And what's going to make it special, because most of the speaker that I consider not only a great physician, also educator, and I learned from them a lot. And you're gonna meet them all. I'm not gonna name them. You're gonna see them one by one. The second, just kind of housekeeping, we're gonna have, if anybody needs a bathroom, is gonna be outside. It's gonna be the food outside also. Any question you need, please stop us. Sometimes we're gonna be tight on the lecture. So if you have any specific question, please stop us and ask us. We're going to be available for any question for you all. The second day is going to be half-day lecture. Second half of the day is going to be workshop. We're going to divide it into 4 groups, and it's going to be 2 groups upstairs and 2 groups downstairs. And one of them on a simulator. Actually two sessions on simulator, one on a mannequin to declare brain death. The second is going to be on a ventilator, also how to manage it on a simulator. So you're going to have a chance to interact to see how we're going to adjust the ventilator. There's more than 100,000 patients waiting for transplant, and there is 10,000 eligible brain dead donor per year, but approximately half are used, even less. the reason that we are unable to obtain consent, and that's where it comes as a physician to recognize those people as soon as, soon as possible. 25% die with cardiovascular collapse before we're able to take their organ. And there's a lot of loss to the organ because we're using vasopressor requirement. So, also there is problem the psychological effect of the family, but 98% would choose donation again. So after they feel that they save some multiple people's life, they feel like, I'm glad that I made a decision. And there's 92% identify positive aspect to the donation process exploration. Donation was comforting. And this is you as a physician, or not only as a physician, as a team, to give the support to the family, to feel like they did something good in the, with the beloved one. So less than 1% of all deaths in the US per year, we can use it. Estimated around 15,000, around 2.5 million deaths in the US per year. Historically, deaths, permanent cessation of heart breathing. In 1950, they announced they have the ventilator. So at that time, they found out, oh, those people there don't have to die because we can put them on a vent, they can stay alive for a longer period of time. So then in 68, there is an ad hoc committee of the Harvard Medical School, and they make the first definition of irreversible coma. And those are patients that the study start working on those patients. So in 1981, the Uniform Death of Determination Act, they said an individual who has sustained irreversible cessation of circulation and respiration function, and irreversible cessation of all function of the entire brain, including the brainstem, and those are patients who's dead. So it's not the cardiac, it's more the brain death. And that's actually what Scott worked on it to have, to discuss with a lot of authority, including our religion, because we have to be careful, because this is a responsibility for us, and we're gonna have a special lecture about those stuff. So the first heart transplant was done from this lady to this doctor, and this is back, and this is Netland Barnard. She was born in 1922, she died in 2001. So Denise was the first donor of the heart. Now, what's interesting, that's us as a physician, when we start the donation, we are losing a lot of those organs because we're not managing. There is 20% donor heart, brain dead, potential organ donor, but they're deemed answerable for transplantation. Why? Because they have irreversible hemodynamic deterioration. And the management of those patients will help us. So this is the first heart transplant where they did the two hearts they put both hearts at the same time. And what I'm trying to focus on this, look at this. This is the recipient heart and this is the donor heart. And you can see the first 12 hours, the heart was stunned. So many times the organ that we are harvesting, they might not be functioning well. But you can see after 24 hours, the donor heart starts improving to the limit that took over after 36 hours. So the proper management of those organs make this patient alive and can survive. And this is where, as a physician, to provide the proper management to our patient so we can take more organs from them. So also the EEG is interesting because they put it so you can see initially how it's evolving to the limit that both hearts are synchronizing. So we have to understand the physiology change of the dead body. We have to see other pre-existing comorbidities. So patient come to you, we have to know what other problem, associated injury if they're trauma, and we have to think about the proper treatment, and this will give us the organ dysfunction, loss of opportunity to donate. If we don't work on this, we're gonna lose a lot of our organ. So in our management, we have to focus first on our patient. So before thinking about this part, we have to think about this. So we have to do aggressive care. We have deterioration condition and preparing family great diagnosis if we feel like patient is not gonna work. So then, most of us, if we saw there is no improvement, we can think about DNR, DNI. When we decide to declare for death, then we might think about this part in basically hope for organ donation So we can preserve the option of donation, donor management, and life saving for donation, and we can save multiple lives from one dead person. So we have to think about reduction of the need, we have to think about increased organ donation by multiple modules, and we have increased graft survival. And this is how a lot of research and a lot of work, and this is a major thing that's been doing for many years to really educate all the hospital, all the physicians. Because as an intensivist or physician, we don't study this initially. But they did among us wonderful CME, wonderful courses to help us to increase graft survival. So the donor management remain one of the most neglected area of transplantation, and this is what we're going to focus in this course. And failure to provide adequate physiologic support to potential donor account for 25% of the lost donor. So it's a process, can go from one part to another. And the goal from the success of the transplantation is to increase the number of organ per donor. So in conclusion, we need the organ, we have a lot of need, so we have to do our best as a physician, and this is the core, the meaning of during those lectures and the workshop is how we're gonna really make the proper diagnosis for brain death so we don't have mistakes. And the second is basically how to keep those organs viable for the other people. At this stage, I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna introduce Dr. Bishar Attar, who is the director of the organ transplant program, and he's a consultant nephrologist. And I'd like to introduce him. Thank you so much.